All right, let's go ahead and get started today. Let's kick things off. I'd like to welcome everybody to the NinjaTrader webinar room. I'm very glad to see you all joined us today. We're going to learn a lot and hopefully have a little bit of fun along the way. Before we really get started, I'd like to take a moment to test for picture and sound. So if everybody can hear my voice and if you can see the slideshow on the screen, please enter a Y into the room now. Okay, perfect. Sounds like I'm coming in loud and clear. So once again, I'd like to welcome you all to today's event. As you can see on the screen, this is Forex 101, where we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics in the world, trading Forex in NinjaTrader. So we're gonna talk about a variety of things. We're going to focus a lot of our time on the FX Pro window, which is a window that's been specifically designed for Forex traders. And we're going to talk about some basic Forex terminology to make sure we're all on the same page. And then we're going to wrap up by talking about some of the nuances of trading Forex in NinjaTrader. Before I get started, just need to cover a couple quick housekeeping items. Firstly, I'd like to note it is important to understand that there are substantial risks involved in trading commodity futures contracts. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you, and this will depend on your specific circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all the funds deposited with your broker, and you could even incur losses beyond these amounts due to leverage. Please inquire at brokeragesupport@ninjatrader.com for more information or for a copy of the CFTC full risk disclosure. Also, please remember that these training webinars are not a solicitation or recommendation, but simply educational in nature. So as I always like to say in these events, we've got a really great and knowledgeable staff of brokers on our brokerage support team who are available anytime that you need assistance, anytime you have questions about opening an account or commissions, things like that, legalities, compliance. You can always reach them at brokeragesupport@ninjatrader.com. And I've gone ahead and pasted a link to that email address in the room now. We're especially lucky today because we have a member of our brokerage support team with us, and I'm going to introduce him in just a quick moment. Before I do, I'd like to just quickly go over what we're going to cover today. So I teased a couple of these topics a little earlier, but let's just show what our full agenda is today. So the first thing that we'll do is talk about some basic Forex terminology. The reason we do this, I know we probably have a lot of Forex traders in the room today, but we often get a lot of futures traders who maybe just dipping their toes into the water of Forex and want to make sure that we're all on board with the terminology that I'm going to be using. Certain things like the word spread, for example, can mean different things when we're talking about Forex than they might in stocks or something else. So we'll start there, start at the basics, build the foundation, and grow from there. The next thing we'll talk about, where we'll spend most of our time today, is talking about the FX Pro window and how it's this really great feature in NinjaTrader that was designed specifically with Forex traders in mind. So you're going to see a theme coming all along this, and that's how does NinjaTrader make your workflow more efficient as a Forex trader? We're going to talk about some features that are really great, especially for scalpers. And the FX Pro window kind of has everything bundled in there together that a Forex trader needs, especially a scalper. Then we'll transition, as I said, to talking about some of the nuances of trading Forex in the NinjaTrader platform specifically, as opposed to trading Forex in another platform or trading other asset classes in NinjaTrader. So we'll talk a little bit about lot size variation and how to deal with quantities, entering quantities for different data providers when you're trading. We'll talk about how NinjaTrader handles symbol notation for Forex instruments and how it may be a little different than what you're accustomed to. We'll talk about trading Forex crosses and obtaining the correct P&L conversion rates so that we can get P&L in US dollars when we're trading crosses. And we'll finish with my favorite topic, the advantage NinjaTrader has over every other platform, which is how the spread is taken into account automatically and how that's one less thing you have to worry about when trading with NinjaTrader. Before we get started, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our special guest. We have with us a member of our brokerage team, Roger, has graced us with his presence and is here to kind of make a brief presentation about our brokerage services. And he'll also remain in the room to answer any brokerage-related questions that you guys may have. So if you have any brokerage-related questions or you'd like information on opening a Forex account or futures with us, feel free to throw the question in the room at any time. So if all is well with Roger's mic and everything's all set up, I'm going to go ahead and pass the room to him now and let him take over.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, beautiful. So thanks a lot, Dave. Again, my name is Roger. I'm a broker here at NinjaTrader. I actually spent several years in the beginning of my career in Forex, working for an FX or an FCM, an FX market maker. Spent some time as a trading coach and educator, and then some time as a technical analyst for a currency research site. So Spot Forex is really, kind of where it all started for me. So I have a lot of love when it comes to that. Futures, currency futures as well. Things have kind of, balanced out a bit. But as a brokerage, we offer access to both. More recently, with Forex now becoming available to our clients. So I just want to take a minute or two here just to kind of touch on the brokerage aspect of things and let Dave take it away with the platform-related items. Which I'm sure you guys are probably a little bit more interested in. But I'm just going to see if I can show you the website real quick. For those of you that haven't started a demo already, you can jump right onto our brokerage website. It's www.ninjatraderbrokerage.com. And just launching off this screen sharing thing right here right now. But it's very simple. You'll be able to just click on a link to go ahead and start your Forex demo. I think you guys should be able to see this now. And this is, again, www.ninjatraderbrokerage.com. You can just click right here on Get Started, go on down to the Forex option here, and click on Free Demo. And then obviously put in your name and your email. You'll get a couple emails. You'll get one right from Ninja, just kind of an introduction. A second email should arrive within a minute or two, and that'll have your license key. You need to complete the installation of NinjaTrader, and then it'll also have your logins, a username and password that you guys need to complete the data connection for Forex. So there's a couple pre-built or pre-installed data connections inside of NinjaTrader. You'll just need to create a new one when it comes to Forex. So it's a very simple process. You'll get instructions on how to do so in that email. Just a little connection guide. As most of you are probably aware, for Forex, we clear through FXCM. So within NinjaTrader, you'll create a new account connection. You'll select FXCM as the data provider. You'll plug in the logins from the email. Just make sure, as a side note, that when you copy, if you're going to copy and paste from the email, that you make sure when you copy the password and paste it into NinjaTrader, that you don't accidentally highlight any blank spaces, because NinjaTrader will read that as a character and give you a login error. So I would say 90% of the time, there's any type of login errors, usually because there's a blank space in the password. But anyway, if you guys have any problems, need any help whatsoever, we have an amazing support team. Our platform support guys are outstanding, award winners. And then, here on the brokerage side, we have a lot of just very experienced brokers, very knowledgeable, and we could definitely help you get up and running. And then, of course, answer any questions you have on the brokerage. So when it comes to the brokerage, again, on the website, you can click, if you're on the home page there, you'll see an option for FX markets now available and a link for view Forex pricing right in the middle of the page there. So just to give you guys a quick breakdown, there's two different versions of the NinjaTrader platform. There's a free version called the Direct Edition. So it's the same charts, same analytics in terms of indicators, the order windows, which Dave is going to go over here. It just doesn't have some of the extra bells and whistles, namely the chart trader feature, which gives you the ability to view, place, and modify trades directly off your charts. And it also doesn't have any of the automated trading features. So that's everything from the fully automated trading systems or bots you can build inside of NinjaTrader, all the way down to automated order types. So things like OCO, order or one cancels other, or order cancels order brackets, which are pretty common. Things like trailing stops, auto break evens. Basically, a lot of the features involved with the ATM feature of NinjaTrader. ATM stands for Automated Trade Management. So it's an excellent feature that kind of gives you the ability to kind of set up your trade, determine how you want to manage your stops, your targets, moving stops to being able to do things like move stops to break even automatically, set manual or automatic trailing stops, things like that. So a very, very helpful tool. So when it comes to pricing, you'll see that with the free direct edition, the commission rate is 6 cents per side per micro lot. And that's what we mean by 1K lot. All right. Um, Another way to look at that is 60 cents per mini lot, and a mini lot would be 10,000 units of currency. So this is a helpful little spot on our website here, just kind of break down for those of you that are brand new to Forex trading. I'll kind of go through, how to determine your costs. And that's really the great change. And I think one of the reasons that we partnered up with FXCM, I mean, there's a few different reasons, but they have adopted this new pricing model. And I think it's great, especially, again, with my background being in Forex, one of the problems is, came down to be pricing. There's variable spreads. These spreads are typically pretty big, even though a lot of Forex companies advertise no commissions, you're paying for it in the spread. And the model that FXCM has now is great because you're getting the raw, true interbank spread. Now it's still going to vary a bit. NinjaTrader, as Dave mentioned, has a good way of displaying that. And but in advance that you're getting the raw interbank spread. So there's no markup, there's no manipulation from the market maker or dealer. And then you're just paying a very transparent commission per side. So it's a very similar structure to the way that futures are set up, in that kind of your cost of trading a lot more than you would have under the old model, where the spread is simply marked up and kind of gives the freedom to the broker or the dealer to kind of really manipulate that however they want. Not that they're doing it, maliciously or anything like that, but I'm just saying, speaking as a trader myself, it's helpful when your your costs in advance, if nothing else, just from a psychological standpoint when it comes to your trading. So anyway, with the direct edition, you're at 6 cents per micro lot per side, plus whatever that raw interbank spread is. So compared to the old model or the way that a lot of other companies still do it, it's a much cheaper model overall. If you're using the full version of NinjaTrader, what we call the standard edition. Again, that's the full featured version of Ninja, where you do have the chart trader ability, you do have all the automated trading features, all the different tools that have made NinjaTrader, the most popular platforms out there. You have an option to either lease the full version of NinjaTrader, in which case your commission will go down. So although you're paying for a lease, and there's 3 different options available, you can do a 3-month lease, a 6-month lease, or a 12-month lease, your commission is going to drop down to help offset that cost. And especially when it comes to Forex, that savings, although it's just a penny per micro lot, for your average trader is typically enough to cover those lease fees. For those of you that have used NinjaTrader, or for those of you that fall in love with it, like we all have, you'll have the option to purchase a lifetime license. So your commission is going to drop even further. You'll be at 4 cents per micro lot per side, and then you'll be locked in that rate for life. With a lifetime license, you'll have free upgrades for life. So on top of all the cool stuff that you're going to see here in just a moment, it's just going to get better. We have a lot of technology in the pipeline in terms of updates and some new features that we're going to be adding. So we have a lot of people that are kind of jumping on the lifetime licenses as a result. So that's basically the kind of gist of it I wanted to cover with you guys today, just to show you where you can sign up for a demo and what the rates are. So if you do have any questions, I'm going to remain on the call. I'll be happy to answer any brokerage-related questions for you guys, and you're more than welcome to email me directly as well. You should see my email address here in the participants list right underneath Dave's name. It's just roger.stochik@ninjatrader.com. It's a little bit of a weird last name there, but I'm just going to add it into the chat window just in case. Again, roger.stochik, STOJSIC, @ninjatrader.com. I'm in the office from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. So if you guys prefer to give me a call, you could reach me directly at 312-262-1257. That's my direct line, my email, whatever works better for you. Love to talk trading, especially when it comes to Forex, but I'm more than happy to answer any brokerage-related questions that you guys might have. And that should pretty much do it.
All right, thank you very much for that, Roger. Thanks for joining. And as Roger said, he'll be around, so feel free to put any questions for him into the room. We've got two quick questions before we get going. Can I use NT for free if I have a live account with FXCM? Absolutely. NinjaTrader is totally free. The fully featured simulated edition is totally free. We only charge if and when you're ready to trade live. So let's see, is ChartTrader available with the free demo? Absolutely. So that kind of goes in with the last question. So when you're using the free demo platform license, all features are enabled, all features except for one, and that would be the ability to trade live. So you can still hook into a live data feed connected to a brokerage account. You just can't send any trades to that brokerage account without a live license. Okay, guys, before we really jump in, I'm going to put a couple quick resources in the room real quick. This first link is going to be to our schedule of live webinar events. As you may have noticed, we've revamped all of our live events, so please feel free to come join us. If you've seen the events before in the past, come join us again. You might learn something new because we've rewritten everything using feedback from you guys. And if you are busy trading away while we have those live events, you can watch the pre-recorded versions on our YouTube channel at the link I've pasted into the room now. Okay, so let's jump right into our core content today. Let's start by talking about these key pieces of Forex terminology that we want to kind of get on the same page with. The first term I want to talk about is the term pip. So a pip is simply the standard unit of movement in a Forex pair price quote. So think of this as the equivalent of a tick for you futures traders, or the equivalent of a cent if you're looking at equities. It's simply the smallest amount that a Forex quote can move. Now that being said, some data providers do provide quotes in half pip or tenth pip, and we'll touch on that a little bit later as to how to set that up and how to verify whether you have those quotes to work with. Okay, so the next term I want to cover is spread. Now, spread can mean different things in different markets, as I alluded to earlier. I've heard of spread referring to the difference between an equity and the index that contains the equity, for example, or the difference between two different related instruments. When we're talking Forex, the spread is going to specifically mean the difference between the bid and the ask for the pair that we're looking at. So without a centralized exchange feeding out data from a centralized source, in Forex, you don't really have the concept of a last traded price. So there's always going to be a bid and an ask. And the one nuance in Forex is all of your buys are going to be executed at the current ask. All of your sells are going to be executed at the current bid. This is why spread is so important in Forex, right? Because when you enter a trade, no matter which way you enter it, you have to overcome the bid, or you have to overcome the spread before you can reach profitability. So an important term and concept to keep in mind. The next basic term here is a lot. One lot is simply the standard quantity traded in Forex. So a standard lot comprises 100,000 units of currency. But if you don't want to trade that much, you can trade what's called a mini lot, which comprises 10,000 units of currency, or even a micro lot, which comprises 1,000 units of currency. So we were alluding to that a little earlier when we were talking about commissions and how the commissions are quoted in terms of micro lots. Now the last term is cross. So cross, a Forex cross, is simply any pair that does not include the US dollar. So we're talking about things like the euro pound, the euro yen, the pound yen, the Hong Kong dollar Aussie, things like that. Anything that does not involve the USD. So we'll talk about crosses a little later when we talk about obtaining proper P&L conversion rates. Okay, with all that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and remove the informational banner here, start sharing my screen once more, and let's jump right in. So the first thing that we're going to do is get connected to Kinetic today. To do that, I'm just going to go to my control center, click File, Connect, and Kinetic. I'm going to abbreviate some of the things in the earlier portion of the webinar here because I do respect you guys' time, and I know we're taking up a little more time today because we're putting a bunch more content in there. But what we're not going to do is show things like adding an instrument into the instrument manager or creating a connection, things like that. But if you have questions on that and you want to stick around after, feel free to do so. That'll be totally fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and open an FX Pro window and start talking about the FX Pro. So to do that, I'm going to click File, New, and then FX Pro. And a nice FX Pro window appears here for us. The first thing I'm going to do is bring in an instrument. So to do that, I'll just use this instrument drop down here. And what this shows is all of the instruments that are in my default instrument list. So normally I take a detour and show you how to add a Forex pair to your default instrument list. But just for this time, just know that that's what's going to be shown here. It's all the Forex pairs that are in your default instrument list. So if you're following along and you've pulled this down and you don't see anything, that's why. So I'm going to go ahead and let's look at the dollar yen today. So now that I've pulled in the dollar yen, we can see a couple things happen here in the window. First, our quotes started populating. So I want to start the grand tour talking about the quote display here, right in the middle. So we can see a number on the left, 124.78, a number on the right, 124.81. The number on the left represents the current bid, and the number on the right represents the current ask. So we can see the handle in small numbers, so it's currently 124 on both sides, and the pip value is the large number in blue. So we can currently see we have a 3 pip spread between the bid and the ask, right? 81 minus 78. One of the things that's really convenient, one of those kind of convenient time savers in FX Pro, is we can see the spread displayed here right on top of this downward facing red arrow. So the downward facing arrow, that shows us the direction of the last incoming tick. So that says the last incoming tick, we went down a pip. And if we look directly above, we can see we're now currently at a 2 pip spread, which makes sense because our ask has gone down a pip, it looks like. So just a really quick, convenient way to tell what your spread is at any moment. Now, the numbers directly beneath the prices, you'll notice it says 0.1 M. I want to simmer on this for a second and talk about exactly what we're seeing there. So this represents the current volume of the incoming data. Now, because of the way that Forex works, most data providers do not actually provide volume along with their Forex quotes. And if they do, it's not the same as the kind of volume that can come from a centralized exchange like the CME. It's really the volume that comes from the banks in the interbank market that they have a relationship with. The issue is the NinjaTrader platform requires volume in order to do all of the things that it does behind the scenes. So when NinjaTrader is not receiving volume from the data provider, what it does is it creates simulated volume. So for Forex, it creates this simulated volume of 100,000 per tick, which is represented by that 0.1 M there, which essentially means 1/10 of 1 million, or 100,000. So if you're looking in your platform and you're seeing the 0.1 M, that's exactly what that means. It just means we're looking at simulated volume. And over here in the control center, directly beneath the bid and ask prices, you'll see the same thing. It says 0.1 M. That's just a clue that lets you know we're working with simulated volume here. So connected to Kinetic, Kinetic doesn't provide volume data. I think FXCM may. I'm not quite certain. I think they may, though. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 fields directly above the quotes now. They currently say flat, P&L, and entry. Let me go ahead and enter a market order and see what these fields do. Okay, so now we can see they've updated to show a few numbers. The field on the very left that's currently in green, that's going to show the quantity and the direction of our position. So I just entered long for 100,000 for one lot. So that's why it's displayed in green and says 0.1 M. Now if we had gone short, that would be in red and it would say 0.1 M. So just you can see really quickly at a glance what your open position is. The field directly to the right of it shows our current unrealized profit and loss for the open position. So right now we just entered, the quote hasn't changed, so we're still at a 2 pip loss because of our 2 pip spread. It's currently showing that in terms of pips. If I were to left click in this middle field here, it'll change to show it in terms of a dollar amount, so we can see the actual currency value of our profit and loss. And if I click one more time, it'll change to show the percentage. So you've got your choice. You can look at it in terms of pips or percent or currency, and you can flip back and forth very quickly with just a left click of the mouse. Lastly, the field to the right here that says 124.81, that displays our average entry price for this position. So now looking at this at a glance, we can see, okay, I'm long one lot, currently down 2 pips, and my average entry price was 124.81. So kind of all the information you need to know at a glance to do things like add protective stops, adjust your target, scale in, scale out, whatever you may need to do. It's all there, right there for you, presented kind of in a compact way. Okay, so let's close out of this one. And I want to talk a little bit about these order entry buttons directly beneath the price area here. So the buy and sell button, pretty self-explanatory. They'll place a buy or sell order, but the order type will be determined by what you have selected in this order type drop-down menu. So in order to place that market order, I just selected market and clicked buy. But if I wanted to do, say, a stop limit order, I could switch this to stop limit and then click buy or sell. The bid button is automatically going to place a limit order at the bid, and the offer button is automatically going to place a limit order at the ask. Beneath here, you see the close button. Again, pretty self-explanatory. That will close out of any open trade. You may have seen me use that a moment ago to get out of that market order that we were in. And lastly, the BE button is going to automatically move your stop loss to break even if you have a stop loss active. So I promise we talk about some really exciting things for scalpers. This is one of them. At one click movement of your stop loss to break even to kind of capture that profit for you. It's a really powerful feature. Okay, let's take a few steps back and let's talk about placing limit or stop orders here. So we talked about the order type drop down. Let's just select limit here. When you've selected limit or stop limit, you'll notice one or both of these fields will populate. So right now, limit price, we're able to put in a limit price but not a stop price. If we were to switch to stop, it'd be vice versa. So to populate the last bid in this field, I'm just going to use my left mouse button, or I'm sorry, my middle mouse button. I'm going to click my middle mouse button, and it just brings in the last bid, so it instantly puts that price in there for us. Now, if I want to increase or decrease this price before I place it, I can just use the up or down arrows or scroll my mouse wheel as I'm doing now. And so let's go ahead and place a buy limit. Let's place that well below the market here. And now you can see this order is active. We can see it listed at the top of the window. Now, to demonstrate this even further, I'd like to open a chart really quick of the dollar-yen. Let's just open a 1-minute chart here. We'll enable Chart Trader. And now we can see this limit order that we've placed way under the market there. So now if I'd like to move this limit order using the FX Pro window, I can simply use the plus or minus buttons here that say increase or decrease. If I click the plus button, we can see that order moving up pip by pip on the chart. Now, if I hold the control key and do that, it's going to move it by 5 pips per click. If I hold the Alt key and do that, it's going to move it by 10 pips. So just for even more kind of granularity. Okay, so we just moved it on the wrong side of the market and it got filled. That's all right. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, so that's pretty much it with the FX Pro. I mean, as you can see, it's pretty compact. Everything that you need is there. You can easily pair this up with a chart, for your technical analysis to view your indicators and things like that, and just use FX Pro for entries. That being said, you can also trade Forex off of charts. You can trade Forex in the Control Center Orders tab, in the basic entry window. So you've got a lot of options on where you trade Forex in NinjaTrader, whatever your trading style is, whatever window you're accustomed to. The last point I want to bring up about the FX Pro window, I want to talk about the ATM strategies that we see here at the bottom. Now, we've got a really great webinar, I think 2 webinars actually, about ATMs. Actually, I just took those over, so I'll be covering those Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, I'll be hosting webinars, I believe at 5 p.m. Eastern, to talk about ATMs. So we're not going to go too deep into them today. I just wanted to draw to your attention the fact that you can use them in the FX Pro window. So if you have ATM strategies set up for your futures or for trading on charts, you can use those exact same strategies here for your Forex instruments. For those guys who may not be familiar with NinjaTrader, 2-second crash course, an ATM strategy will it will automatically place a stop limit and a profit target where you want them as soon as your entry is filled, instantly. And with ATMs, you can also set up automatic trailing stops, and you can set up automatic break even. So it's really, really super powerful feature. If you'd like to learn more about that, please do join me. Same place, almost the same time, 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow and Wednesday. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and transition to the later part of the event here, which is where we're going to talk about some of the nuances involved in trading Forex specifically with NinjaTrader. I realize we've come to the scheduled end time of the presentation, so I do respect everybody's time. I'm going to try to speed through this as much as possible, but as I said, if I go through anything too quickly and you'd like me to hang around afterwards and answer questions, I'm more than happy to do that. And we will talk about setting stop losses manually as well, Juliana. Don't let me forget about that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about, the first nuance here, is lot sizes. Really, the point that I want to make about lot sizes in NinjaTrader is the way that you enter quantities is going to depend on your data provider. Some data providers, such as Kinetic, require you to use a literal notation to literally tell it the number of units you want to trade, which means if you'd like to trade one lot, you're going to have to enter 100,000 as the quantity. So that's the way that the data provider requires that information to be sent. That's why we've developed this shorthand notation, this 0.1M, because entering 100,000 into the quantity field, not only is it time consuming, but it's a little annoying. So you can just enter 0.1M, 3 taps on the keyboard, and that represents 100,000. If you wanted to trade 10,000 or a mini lot, you could just enter 0.01M, or 1% of a million, which equals 10,000. Or if you're trading a micro lot, you can just enter 10, or 1,000 rather. Now, keep in mind with Forex, we've got this idea of variable position sizing. So let's say you want to enter 2.5 lots. Well, you can enter 0.25M. Let's say you want to enter a lot and two. Let's say you want to enter 3 mini lots. You can enter 0.03M, 3% of a million, or 30,000. So it's pretty flexible there. Now that being said, other data providers, FXCM is one of these. Other data providers will allow you to set up a default lot size in your actual brokerage account on the other end. What that means is you could enter a 1 here to equal 1 lot, or this 1 may represent 1 mini lot, or this 1 may represent 1 micro lot, and that's going to depend on your default lot size set up in your brokerage account. So that's something, if you're trading with us, that's something that Roger and the experts on the brokerage side can help you guys out with, to determine what the default lot size is in your account, to tell you if there are any requirements for changing that default lot size, or whatever else you may need. So we've got a quick question. What is 1.5 micros? So a micro is 1,000. So 1.5 micros is going to be 1,500. So if we're entering literal notation, we'll enter 1,500 here for 1.5 micros. Or, let's say that you were with FXCM, and let's say your default lot size was a micro. Maybe you enter 1.5, and that'll put it through. And not a problem at all. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about symbol notation now. So you may be accustomed, when you trade in other platforms, you may be accustomed to symbol notation working something like this. Let's say we want to switch to euro dollar. It would be EUR/USD, right? Well, let's see what happens when I try to use this symbol in NinjaTrader. Pops up a little error, and it says invalid instrument name. So that's because we handle the symbol notation a little bit differently in the platform. The standard symbol notation is to begin with a $ and omit the slash. So I would do $EURUSD, Just like that, no slash, $ up front. Then when I press enter, it'll change to the euro dollar for us. Now, that's the standard way that's going to work in all the different order entry windows and instrument lists and things. When you're looking at chart traders specifically, or looking at a chart rather, which I'm doing now, you can even just omit that $. I could just type in the symbol USD JPY with no $, no slash, anything like that, press enter, and boom, changes for us right away. So just something to keep in mind as you're, poking around. If you find that you keep getting this error that says invalid instrument name, just something to keep in mind there. Okay, so we're cruising right along, and I'm going to get to Juliana's question in the next section when we talk about spread. But first, I'd like to just slow down for a minute and talk about one of the more complex topics. This is the most complex topic that we'll talk about today. Not that complex, it just requires you to wrap your head around it for a moment. So when you're trading a Forex cross, so for example, let's pull up the Euro Pound. When we're trading the Euro Pound, we're essentially exchanging euros for pounds, which means our profit and loss is going to be in terms of the quote currency, the pound. So when we see our P&L, when we're looking at this, the P&L is going to be quoted in terms of pounds. But that's not going to do us any good, right? Because we're all trading in US dollars, and we want to know what our profitability is in our actual currency, our account currency. So in order to do this, NinjaTrader needs to be receiving data or a pair that pairs the base currency of the cross, the first currency, with the US dollar. So for example, if we're trading the Euro Pound, NinjaTrader needs to be receiving data somewhere, somehow, for the Euro Dollar. And then it will know the exchange rate between the Euro and the dollar, and it can use that to extrapolate your Euro Pound profit and loss in terms of dollars. Let's take another example here. Let's say that we're trading the pound yen. Okay, so the pound yen, our P&L is going to come to us in terms of yen. So what we'll need to do is pair the base currency, the pound, against the US dollar. So if we're trading the pound yen cross, we'll need to be receiving data for the pound dollar, the pound USD symbol. Now, there's any number of ways that you could do this. I could have the pound dollar open in the FX Pro over here. I could have the pound dollar active in the orders tab of the control center. My favorite way, probably the best way to handle this for cross traders, is to use a window we call the Market Analyzer. So to open the Market Analyzer, I'll click File, New, and then Market Analyzer. What this does, its basic functionality is pretty much just like a quote sheet, but it can do so much more than that. You can set up alerts in it, you can do scanning, you can scan pairs based on different technical analysis criteria, all sorts of really great things you can do with it, but we're just going to use it for its most basic functionality, which is as a quote sheet. So let's say we're trading the yen pound or the pound yen, so I can just type in pound dollar here. And just as easy as that, NinjaTrader is now receiving data for pound dollar. Let's say we were trading that euro yen. We'll just type in the euro dollar here. And just as easy as that, we're receiving data for the euro dollar. So in my experience on the platform support team, when I talk to people who trade crosses on the phone, they generally trade a lot of crosses and generally only crosses. What I generally see, maybe I'm wrong, but what I generally see is people who are all about the majors or people who are not about the majors at all and do all crosses. So if you're a cross trader, this is a really great little technique. You could come in here and enter as many symbols as you'd like. And what's really cool about this is once you have them all entered, you just minimize this guy. He's out of sight, out of mind. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to clutter up your desktop or your workspace. But at the same time, NinjaTrader will be getting that information that it needs. Okay, so let's talk about my favorite topic of the night here, and that is how the spread is automatically taken into account with NinjaTrader. Before I do, I'm going to have a bit of a story time. So when I used to trade Forex before I discovered NinjaTrader, I used other popular trading platforms that you may be accustomed to. One of the things that kept biting me, especially as a beginner, was the spread. I was a scalper as well, so I would enter a trade on this other platform, and I'd have a target of, say, let's just say I wanted to get a pip. That's all I wanted out of the trade was 1 pip. I'd look on the chart, it would tell me I was up 1 pip, I'd close out the trade, I'd feel really good about myself, I got my pip, only to realize later on that I actually lost 2 pips on that trade. Why would that be? That's because I didn't remember to keep the spread into account in my head during the trade. So if I'm in a market with a 3 pip spread and my trade goes up 1 pip, I'm still down 2 pips, right? Because I have to overcome that spread. So if you have a 3 pip spread, your trade needs to move up 4 pips in order for you to realize 1 pip of profitability. The problem with other platforms is you always have to keep this in your own mind. You always have to do the math. You have to say, okay, the platform tells me I'm up 1. I entered with a 3 pip spread. It's currently a 3 pip spread, so I actually need to be showing a 4 pip profit in order to have a 1 pip realized profit. That's not an issue at all with NinjaTrader. When NinjaTrader tells you that you're up 1 pip or X pips, you can trust that it means what it's saying because it's taking the spread into account. It's actually calculating the orders the way they're actually placed at the exchange, which is, remember, all buys executed at the ask and all sells executed at the bid. So let's see this in action. Let's demonstrate this. So we're looking at the pound yen cross, and we're on kinetic, so we've got a big spread here. This would not be the same if you were with FXCM with us. We would not be looking at a 6 pip spread here, but we're on kinetic, so that's what we see, and it's a cross. As a matter of fact, let's actually just switch to a major. Let's go ahead back to dollar yen. Okay, so now we're seeing a 2 pip spread, much more manageable. So now with a 2 pip spread, as soon as I enter a position here, we should see me at a 2 pip loss. So let's go ahead and buy market and see what happens. Okay, so the spread actually moved to 3 pips right before I placed it. You can see on the bottom right of the chart here, the ask is 0.82. Well, it went back to 2 pips now. So the point is, we can see my P&L is now at 2 pips, or minus 2 pips. That's because of the spread. So as soon as we enter, it takes it into account. So when this trade goes up 2 more pips, it'll show me as even. And then when it goes up again, it'll show me as having a 1 pip profit. That I love talking about that because that was just one of the many aha moments that I had when I came over to NinjaTrader. It was just a couple months worth of aha moments saying, oh, wow, this is great, this is great, this is more convenient, this is more efficient. Okay, so now I want to backtrack. I want to get to the question that was asked a little while ago. It was, how do you set a stop loss manually? So this is another thing. That's a really good question for this presentation. In the other platforms that I used, stop losses and profit targets were almost treated like actual order types, but they're not actual order types. When we're trading, a stop loss is not a type of order. It's a term given to the goal of an order. So in NinjaTrader, what you would need to do, so we're in this open position here, all you'd need to do to set your stop loss manually is simply enter a limit order. I believe it's limit. It may be stop limit. Let me think. Let's see. We're long. We need to sell. Needs to go below the market. Okay. So we would need to enter a sell stop order. Not to be confused with the term stop loss. We're talking about a stop market order. So to do that in ChartTrader, stop loss, we're talking about a stop market order. So to do that in ChartTrader, what I'll do is right-click here in the chart and then click Sell Stop. And I could also place a Sell Stop limit order this way as well. So now with this order in place, we're now effectively bracketed. We now have a stop loss. Now if I were to scrunch the chart here and enter a sell limit order above the market, now we've got ourselves a profit target, and we can move these around at will. And you can do the same thing using the FX Pro window. So let's say, for example, I'm in this position. I want to place my stop loss at 124.77, but I want to use FX Pro. So we can, switch our order type to limit, change our limit price to 124.77, and then I'll simply click Sell. And now we've got a sell limit there that's effectively going to act like our stop loss. because what it's going to do is it's going to submit that stop market order when it's hit for the exact quantity of our open position in the opposite direction. So it effectively acts as a stop loss for us. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close out of that position. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I see some questions coming in the room. That's pretty much all that we've got for the core content today. We covered FX Pro. We covered the nuances of trading Forex. I'm going to stick around a little while. So if you'd like to paste questions in the room, I do see one new one came in. If you'd like to paste any questions in the room, I'll stick around and I'll cover that for you guys. Not a problem at all. I believe Perry had one too. Perry, I'm going to scroll up. After I answer Michael's question, I'll scroll up and answer yours, Perry. But for anybody that needs to go, we're done with the core content, and I just want to say thank you very, very much for joining us. Okay, Michael's question, can you do stops and limits in pips? You can, but now we're getting into the world of ATM strategies. So just really quick, and as I said, I'm going to be hosting 2 ATM webinars, Level 1 and Level 2, on Tuesday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So please do join me and we'll go through the nuts and bolts. But basically, I'll just show you what happens here. I'll go ahead and switch to custom. In our ATM strategy setup, here's where we could enter a number of pips. Let's say I automatically want to place my stop loss 3 pips away and automatically want to place my profit target, 8 pips above. I'm actually going to reload the historical data in this chart here. Okay, so now we've got this ATM strategy set up. Now if I buy market, now we can see the stop loss and the profit target were automatically placed using pip values rather than me actually putting in the price there. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up and get to Perry's question here. Okay, so Perry asked, how do you click on the charts to set buy limit and stop orders after you get filled? So yeah, that's actually what we just covered just a minute ago, but real quick I'll show it one more time. So at any point with Chart Trader enabled, this is the key, Chart Trader has to be enabled. At any point you can right click in the chart and then you'll have 3 options to place pending orders. So if you right click above the market, you can do a sell limit, buy stop limit. If you right click below the market, you can do buy limit, sell stop limit. So this is how you would do that after you were in an active trade already. So let's just say, we sell market here and, we're using our ATM strategy. Don't want to do that. Switch this to none. Let's sell market. And now now that we're in a trade, I can right click and place any pending orders there. Now this could be, let's say for example, so we're in a short position. If I wanted to scale in at a certain technical level, maybe I wanted to scale in once we hit major support, then I can place another sell order. I can place a sell stop order. So now when that gets hit, we'll now be short 2 lots instead of 1 lot, or I can use a buy order to effectively bracket the market with a protective stop and a profit target. So that's how you do that. Okay, let's see. Paul asks, can NinjaTrader be used in the UK with a spread betting account? That, I believe, is going to be a brokerage question. So the easy answer on the platform side is NinjaTrader can do just about anything that you're allowed to do in your brokerage account. But I wouldn't know whether you would be allowed to do that one or not. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that one on the table for Roger and see if he has any insight there. And let's see, Juliana's question. What's the difference between a buy stop and a buy stop limit? So a stop order, also referred to as a stop market, it essentially says when price hits this level, get me in this direction. And I don't care about slippage. So it's essentially a market order that's placed when price hits a certain point rather than being placed right away. Now a stop limit order has that same functionality of a stop, but it has a limit portion to it too. So what you can do with a stop limit order is you can say, when price gets to this point, get me in this direction, but stop filling me if the price moves X ticks away, X pips away. So let's just say, for example, you place a, I'm going to go ahead and right click here on this chart, place a buy stop limit. It's going to pop up this little window that's asking me for a limit offset. If I put a 2 in here, now we have a 2 pip limit offset. So what that means is when the price hits this point, it's going to try to fill your buy order. But if the price moves away 2 pips, it'll stop filling you. So this is important for like fast moving markets. If you're filling a very large order and you say, you know what, I want to get in here, but I don't want any slippage, period. You know, if you want no slippage at all, you can use a stop limit order with a 0 pip offset. And then what that will do is that will say, fill me only at this price. And if the market moves away from this price before I'm fully filled, then forget about it. So that's the difference between a stop market and stop limit. So it's all about how you want to run it. Okay, let's see. And so if you're trading news, stop limit, you know what? That is a little out of my scope in terms of offering trading advice. I really do want to answer that question, but I think due to compliance, I have to stay away from that question mark. I apologize for that, but just let me say that it's whatever your goal is for that particular trade. You know, if you don't want massive slippage, then stop limit's going to be probably a better one to look at for you. Okay, Albert asks, when you place an order, is it time bound? Yes, yes, there is a time in force. You can select the time in force in many order entry windows. Let's see, where would we do that here? Well, when you're working with ChartTrader, the time in force is going to be good till day by default, but there are certain order entry windows where you can set the time in force to, see here for ATM strategies, for example, for the stop loss and the profit target it's going to place, you can select good till day or good till canceled there. One nuance to keep in mind here is that not all brokerages support good till cancel orders on certain things. I think good till cancel market orders, I think, will get rejected with certain brokerage accounts. I'm not sure if NinjaTrader brokerage is one of those, but yeah, so in ChartTrader, good till day by default. In other places, you will have the ability to select the time in force. Okay, you're very welcome, Juliana. Thank you very much for your question. I will go ahead and hang out for a couple more minutes and see if we can get some more questions in the room. What is a day in NinjaTrader? That's a good question. Shoot, I would need to look that one up. I would need to do just a little bit of research. I want to say off the top of my head it is 11:59 your PC time, but don't quote me on that. If you'd like an exact answer on that, please feel free to send us an email to platformsupport@ninjatrader.com. The last thing I want to do is give you a definitive answer off the top of my head. So go ahead and send us an email, and we'll look up that exact answer for you. And another question: how do you place a market order with a stop loss 10 pips away? For that, we would use an ATM strategy. So please do join me tomorrow for the ATM Level 1 webinar. I'm going to show you it real quick, and I won't be explaining it as we go because we'll go into much detail about that tomorrow. But let's see. So we'll open up our ATM strategies here. We'll set a stop loss of 10 pips, and we will not set a profit target for this one. And so now I'm just going to buy market. And our stop loss is immediately submitted for us 10 pips away. So that's how you do that. The short answer is ATM Strategies. And I'll give you the long answer tomorrow at 5 Eastern, same place. What webinar shows how to make Forex pairs the default? I'm not I'm not sure I understand the question 100%. Are you referring to adding Forex pairs to your default instrument list that I'm pulling down here in the FX Pro? Okay, gotcha. So to do that, we need to open up the Instrument Manager. So to open up the Instrument Manager, I'll go to the Control Center here. First click Tools. And the first entry here says Instrument Manager. I'll click that. Now the Instrument Manager is pretty much divided into two sections. Over here on the left, we have our instrument lists. So in NinjaTrader, you can create lists of instruments to group things together for convenient reference later on. The default instrument list is going to be just selected by default. This default instrument list is what's going to show up in all the drop-down menus. So that counts for, this one here. It also counts for when you're working on charts or the Superdome. So to add an instrument, the first thing we'll do is look for it. We'll search for it in the right pane here. So let's just find something that involves US dollar. Let's say the dollar Canadian. So I find dollar Canadian in the list. I'll highlight it. And to put it on my default instrument list, I'll simply use this little left arrow button here that I'm highlighting. And when I click that, you'll see now the dollar Canadian is in my default instrument list. And now it will be accessible in any of the instrument drop-down menus. And this is a good time to point out, you'll notice I have futures contracts in my default instrument list as well, but none of those were showing up in the FX Pro. That's just because FX Pro is only going to allow you to bring in Forex quotes. So that's how you do that. If you'd like to clean up your default instrument list and get an instrument out of there, simply select it in the list and then click this little right arrow button right here. And it'll just take it right out for you. So that's how we manage our instrument lists. And the reason those other lists are important, one of the big reasons is if you're opening a chart, you have access to all of your instrument lists here. So, for me personally, in my personal installation of NinjaTrader, I have a Forex Majors instrument list. What's really cool about that is I can just instantly populate a market analyzer with all the Forex Majors, or what I like to do, I have an automated trading strategy that I run on all the majors. I can just enable the strategy on the actual instrument list, and boom, all of a sudden I have 7 individual strategies for 7 individual pairs. So really useful feature there. All right, everybody, I want to thank everybody who stayed around. I'd like to thank Roger once again for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at Platform Support or Brokerage Support. Give Roger a call. He loves to take you guys' calls, and like you said, our brokerage guys are very knowledgeable. They love to talk trading, and they love to talk brokerage. So you're very welcome, Sergey, and thank you guys very much for joining. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and good luck trading in the week ahead. Have a great day, everyone.